Hey guys, so yesterday we found out that Animal Crossing New Horizons is getting not only a Switch 2 edition, but also an update as well. And this free update is adding something pretty interesting, since it's bringing back the idea of classic consoles similar to the NES games in the original Animal Crossing. At first, I was ecstatic about this announcement because it's really cool to be able to play these games and they're kind of within Animal Crossing, and I thought this was going to be a way to access these games without a subscription, because there are probably some people out there who want to play these games without a subscription, but unfortunately, it's tied to NSO. You have to have Nintendo Switch Online in order to use these items, which is kind of ridiculous. The games that we've seen are 40 years old or nearly 40 years old, and there's small games like Ice Climber, and we're already paying $60 for this game as well, so I just think it's really weird that you need the subscription in order to access these games. And also, there isn't really a point to it either, because you already have the apps available if you have Nintendo Switch Online, so it's just really strange to me, and it just seems like Nintendo doesn't really want you to fully own these games. It seems like they just want you to pay for a subscription service in order to access them.
Yeah, exactly. I think I think it's weird that how they implemented this. I think the best way to be doing it is, okay, we're gonna add, say, all the different consoles, and you can have access to all, well, I guess playing through this thing to all your NSO games. That's kind of one thing. That I think I'd be kind of okay with if it's like, okay, here's every single NSO game, but you have to use the NSO thing. But if it's just like, and this is probably how it should be implemented, is here's like a handful of each games. Like, let's say you pick like 5 games from each system, maybe, or maybe a bit more, right? Maybe 10
Yeah.
games from each system, right? Some of the more classic games, maybe games that people have already played. Like maybe you would pick a lot more of the NES classic games, right? Maybe you wouldn't pick something like Kirby Adventure. Maybe you wouldn't pick, some of like the newer stuff.
Yeah, more like the black box titles, like Super
yeah,
Mario
exactly.
Bros.
Or for SNES.
Or SNES would have
Yeah, like
F-Zero.
maybe Pilot Wings.
Yeah,
maybe
even
Super Mario World.
Yeah,
you
Super
throw in
Mario
there.
World is fine. Yeah,
You know,
even Super
yeah,
Mario
for
Kart.
NES, you'd probably do Super Mario Bros. Like, you don't have to pick like
Yeah.
Mario 2 and 3, for example. But it depends on how they implement it. If it's like, okay, here's a handful of games, then it's like, okay, maybe make it free, make it like, make it like a kind of almost a trial. If you like these games, you can. There's way more on NSO. I guess they could do it in a way like they did it in like Super Smash Brothers Brawl on the Wii, where there was a time limit for those games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they could do like that if they make it free as well. But the thing is, Nintendo wants you to buy NSO, right? They want you to buy that,
it's just
which
Yeah, it's just really weird. It's just especially since it's just a little thing in the game. They're not even kind of touting it as a feature. It's just a little item, and you have to have a subscription in order to access it. It just really kind of goes to show that they really want people to get on the subscription, which I just think it's a bit too aggressive of a move, I would say. I just think these games should have been offered for free, and if anything, I think it would have been a good way to advertise Switch Online. Have a few select games, like we were saying, for some of the more iconic classic ones for free, and then kind of use that as a way to advertise the service, or offer some of these more classic kind of well-known games to people who don't really want to pay for the subscription. Sure, it is a kind of an unconventional way to own these games, if you were to own them, but it still is something, and a lot of people do have Animal Crossing, so it still would have been better. So it really just kind of seems to be revealing that problem that Nintendo has with how they're handling retro games. And the thing is, I don't think Nintendo Switch Online is a bad service anymore. I think the selection for the price is actually pretty good. And I think it's probably realistically going to be the way that most people will be accessing these games. I think that is definitely a fair assumption and a fair thing to kind of like realize. But at the same time, though, it shouldn't be our only option, because Switch Online at the end of the day is a service where Nintendo is providing like online multiplayer. It's not necessarily a service for classic games. The classic games are more so of an incentive that are tied to this. So I really think Nintendo should offer some way of like buying these games outright rather than having to access them through the service. And I just think it would be better for both longevity and game conservation. Yeah, I know, like, or preservation. I know preservation has kind of become like a buzzword. Some people are saying like, oh, you don't need, like, some people who are interested in preservation don't really care. They really just care about like piracy or whatever. But that's a whole nuanced discussion on its own. But I think preserving these games is pretty important. I think future generations, and even our generation when we get older, should be able to access these games. Like, I've been playing through the original Luigi's Mansion on GameCube on NSO, and I'd love to always be able to play that game even without a subscription. It would be nice if I could just buy that game outright and I could just have that forever. So I just think, like, it's not only for longevity, but like also people who won't always be paying for the service, for people like that to access these games. I really think Nintendo should offer some kind of alternative there.
Yeah, I agree. There should be a way for people to buy these classic games if they want them in their library. Maybe Nintendo doesn't think that people are just gonna say, okay, I'm gonna buy Urban Champion, right? I guess kind of part of their idea was that they didn't want people buy the games over and over and over again. But, some people do want to just own them. And it would be nice, for example, and I think that's what they should do, is offer people a way to buy the games within NSO itself. So it's like, okay, maybe you're not buying it so it's on your home screen on your console, but have it so it's like, okay, I'm going to buy, say, Luigi's Mansion, right? And I can buy that game within NSO and access it forever. And even if I stop paying for the service, I'll have access to that one game.
Yeah, like, it's basically...
The others will disappear.
Yeah.
Like, that, they could make that work, because it's not like you're communicating with a server to download the stuff, right?
Yeah,
if you're communicating with that server, then it's like, okay, but...
Yeah, because these aren't cloud games. These are, like, running, or not on natively, but they're emulated on your console. It still is a game that, like, even though you don't own, it still is the data is there on your console, so it is entirely possible for them to, like, implement some kind of system like that. Like, maybe, maybe there's, like, a separate shop page on like the NSO app where you could kind of go in and you could like select individual games you want to buy, then it will kind of like boot you into like an eShop thing, and then you can like purchase it. So I just think that would make a lot of sense there. But kind of going into like other examples of like Nintendo like not really letting you own these classic games is with things like Nintendo World Championship NES Edition. It's basically a game with a bunch of NES challenges, kind of similar to NES Remix, but with a little less content because it doesn't have the remix levels. I still liked it. It was alright, but...
Yeah, I like the collector's stuff. I think that was pretty much what it was made for. Oh, you get a cool NES cartridge and you get a cool box, and it does look pretty neat. And as a package, it's neat, but I think the thing is, it's just kind of forgotten about. Like, it just exists. Like, I don't hear anybody like, oh, remember that? Like, in fact, I kind of completely forgot it exists.
Yeah. And
sometimes,
And one huge missed opportunity with it that kind of ties into this whole discussion is the fact that it didn't actually include the NES games, like, that this game kind of the games that it had challenges for. It didn't actually have the full games in there. I know, okay, to be fair, NES Remix didn't either, but this was kind of more pushed as like a classic NES collection-esque thing. I mean, even though that's not exactly what it was, it's still basic. It didn't have any of the, like, the remixed stages in there at all. It was literally just little sections of the games. They could have easily just allowed you to play the full game. They could have even done like a speedrun mode where you could speedrun through each of the games. Like, they could have done something with that.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have like a speedrun of like Super Mario Bros. 1.
You are paying for the game. So.
Yeah. They do have a speedrun of Super Mario Bros. 1 in there at least. So you could technically clear SMB 1. You can't play all the levels. You just have to do the warp zone and everything. But it's just kind of weird. I think, like, including I think 13 games that were in here, this would have made it much more worth it, honestly. Like, I wouldn't have even minded if they made the game slightly more expensive, just so that you could own some of these classic NES games. I think that would have been a great opportunity.
Yeah. Like, wait, doesn't also, like, Super Mario 3D World includes technically the entirety of Super Mario Bros. With Super Luigi Bros, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it include that? So, like, imagine it's like, you need an online subscription to play this,
Yeah,
too.
that's
Super
exactly,
Mario Bros.
That's a great, like, comparison. Like, just, imagine
Right?
if 3D World did that. Like, that's exactly, like, how the Animal Crossing thing is. Like, it's just
Like,
so weird.
You can't play it.
Yeah. At least you can
have
own,
to get the subscription.
you can own Luigi Bros, but not Mario. Actually, no, you can own Mario Bros, but not the NES version, the arcade version with Arcade Archives.
Yeah.
Arcade Archives is great.
I should probably get that version.
Yeah,
Actually, I don't have that one.
Oh, you don't? It's
Surprisingly.
really good.
I
But
probably should get it.
I love Arcade Archives. That is how you preserve games, because you could really always access those. They were a bit pricey, but I did still like them, just for the fact that you can own the games. And they're like actual re-releases of like some of Nintendo's older arcade games, and they did other like arcade games aside from that as well. But
I was also gonna say another way you could have played Super Mario Bros. Is with Super Mario Bros. 35, but then I was like,
yeah. Well,
Super Mario 35.
The funny thing is, Super Mario Bros. Actually is on Arcade Archive, so you can own the arcade version of it, the versus Super Mario Bros. But I think, like, when it comes to Nintendo in like actually allowing you to own an older game, the only way it really seems like they do that is through higher profile releases. If they do like some sort of big blown out remaster, like Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, Metroid Prime Remastered, Pikmin 1 and 2, and I mean, while some of these are insanely overpriced, while others, like Pikmin 1 Plus 2 or Metroid, are reasonable, it really seems like this is the only, like, they have to be some kind of remaster or some kind of special release in order for you to own them. Or like the original Fire Emblem game, like the translated version of that. Like, that's another example. It's like, it has to be some kind of special release in order, or a high profile full release in order for you to actually own it. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. I feel like they should just allow you to do that with like any game on NSO. So it's
exactly, yeah.
It's just kind of unfortunate. Because
they value the NES games a lot, right? Even though some of them are like really good and some of them are kind of just okay. I think that's kind of the main problem. It's like, oh, you want to play Urban Champion, you gotta get the subscription. It's like, well, I mean, I don't know how many people actually want to play that game because it's like, but I just find it funny. Like they have a lot of games that they sort of just kind of block in that way. I think, you know, like I said before with the like we talked about before with the Animal Crossing, is like, yeah, just give it a little demo, even a little taste, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of the Animal Crossing stuff as well, I don't also know if that has multiplayer or not. It doesn't really say anything, and I don't know about settings or other features.
I haven't seen anything about that.
Yeah, the UI in the video, like the text subtitle they put there, kind of blocks some of the stuff at the bottom. I do wonder if like there you'd be able to remove those things at the bottom. Like I'm kind of wondering
it says
about
turn
that.
guide on the little screen there. So I think
Does it say that?
Yeah, it says turn guide on. So I think you can turn off the little text there too.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
So I was going through the video, but I thought it just said.
But if it doesn't have,
Oh yeah.
if it doesn't have multiplayer, like, why is like it being that kind of makes it even more confusing that it's tied to the subscription service. So, like, cause it doesn't even have that online component. Apparently, I'm just kind of making an assumption there, but it's just
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
it does say
a
that.
it just kind of is a weird situation, and I wish Nintendo allowed some way for you to own these games. But yeah,
Even if it's just,
anyways,
oh, you want to try it for like an amount of time, right? Like I think that's actually okay if it's like, okay, you want to,
yeah,
you have a timed demo. It's like, okay, you can play it for like say 5 minutes at a time, right? Like, and it's like, okay, we get the free the paid thing that you can enjoy these games. Like they could have
yeah,
at least done it like that, giving people at least some sort of free option, or maybe maybe they could have just done it like, okay, you only get access to like 3 games. Like at least give people a free option for these items. Like even if it was just 1 game per console, because at least then they're usable for someone who doesn't have the subscription. I actually think that would have been just like the bare minimum would have been a really good idea,
yeah,
right? Even if you don't get all the collection, at least okay, you know what? The NES plays Ice Climbers, the Game Boy plays Dr. Mario. Like just the basic they could have done is that. I think that would have been okay, because I don't think
yeah.
anybody's like, oh my gosh,
Hmm.
I need to, Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo's like, we need people to play Ice Climber in a controlled manner. I don't think they. I don't
Yeah,
think. That's how I think they should have done it. But
yeah. But anyways, those are kind of our thoughts about how Nintendo is treating like these classic game releases, either in Animal Crossing or NSO in general, or just not really allowing like actual ownership, really tying everything to a subscription. But let us know what you think down in the comments. And anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Stay perky!
yeah.